Bermuda, baby.
Woo! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Second Street. I hope you're all having a very good day today. Here we are on Friday, and today we are going to be talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier Episode 2, The Star-Spangled Man. And man, oh man, what an episode it was. And before we even get into that, I am going to tell you right off the bat, we are going to get into a spoiler discussion. Next week, I will have a guest here with me. Just had some things lined up, and just we all have personal lives and things like that, and so hey, I completely understand. We will have a guest next week for this spoiler discussion. I will take a little bit more time and get back things back in line, like when we had Chillmonger here joining us for the previous episodes. But starting right off, I am going to talk about this episode, and we will get into spoilers here in just a little bit, and I will let you know when that is before I get into that. If you're watching this on the replay, or even if you're watching this live, I'll let you know. And I don't have a graphic up there to put spoilers or anything up there yet. Maybe I should go ahead and do that. But excuse me. Thank you all so much for being here today. Again, I do want to talk about this show, and let me know down in the comments below what you thought of Falcon and Winter Soldier Episode 2, The Star-Spangled Man. I want to know all your thoughts, and I will read those here in just a few minutes. Now, one of the things I want to get into here with this episode was last week, after last week's episode, there was a lot of people talking, and I think people have kind of been talking throughout the week about this series and how it's going to kind of address and deal with some of these different issues in this story that we are getting. And we see they kind of planted some seeds in the last episode about just some of the things that go on in society, and just kind of reflecting some of that in this superhero world, this landscape. And I thought they did a really good job walking the line of a lot of those kinds of things, interjecting in some of those kind of those politics, along with some of the regular political kind of things that we get in a lot of these Avengers and MCU superhero films in the first place. I thought they did a really good job last week reintroducing us to Sam Wilson and Bucky, and bringing us into some action, some drama, setting up the story for everything that's getting ready to go on in the series. And that really continued here in episode 2, which, if you think about this 6 series in 3 acts, this is act 2 over in this episode. And I'm telling you, I think that the writer here is doing a very good job, and director Kari Skogland doing a great job, and Malcom Spellman, the writer, I think is doing an absolutely great job doing all of these things, putting all of those things in there, where I know some people probably feel like it's lazy, interjecting politics into it, racial politics, things like that, right? Systemic racism and all of that into this. But I gotta say, I think he's doing a very good job interjecting some of those things into this show and putting some of that seriousness and weight behind it, while also kind of leaving it loose and having fun with it as well. And we see more of that in this episode too. And I gotta say, one of the things I seen here over this last week was this interview with the writer Malcom Spellman, and I was like, something he said I really did like hearing, because there's a lot of stuff that we could talk about when it comes to the comic books, especially like the Sam Wilson Captain America run, let alone like the Captain America, was it Truth, Red, White, and Black? I haven't read that series yet. Plan on reading that here over the weekend. But where it deals with some of these different race issues and things like that. And a lot of people in the Sam Wilson Captain America book didn't like some of that stuff, how it kind of played on a lot of that. And I completely get it, where you take this this character, this traditional character of Captain America, Steve Rogers, and you hand it off the shield to Sam Wilson and all of those kinds of things. And we've seen they did a lot of that kinds of stuff in the comic books as well, interjected some of that. And I think that's something that a lot of people on the internet have expressed their feelings about tokenizing characters, race swapping and stuff like that, let alone in the comic books, let alone in these series. And I think what if you go back and read some of the Sam Wilson Captain America series, and even some of these other things, and especially kind of what we're getting in here, we see that it's doing a lot of that, but it's doing it in a much better way, if you ask me, kind of putting all of those different views out there and playing on some of these kind of, if you will, say racial tensions, or just kind of race topics, you know, these kinds of things that affect our society. Because I mean, there's nothing that can be denied, whether you're actually dealing with racism or anything like that. There are a lot of people out there that are discriminate to others, right? It doesn't matter what color your skin is, I can guarantee you've been discriminated against. And we see them playing with a lot of those kinds of issues in this series. And like I said, I know some people are going to not like that, but like I said, in the comic books, they did some of that, and a lot of the audience don't like that. They don't like that tokenization, that race swapping, and things like that. Handing off these mantles to other characters and just giving it away, like we know with Sam Wilson, Captain America. That was a thing in the series, right? When that comic series came out. And I think when Malcom Spellman said that in this interview, I think it reflected, he said something that I thought was a great reflection, was he said, I don't feel that anybody out there kind of wants to see this man like Sam just take the shield and, you know, just like, hey, we got all of a sudden got Black Captain America now. And just taking on the shield and taking on that mantle of Captain America. I'd have to go back and find the interview. They just dropped it, I think, on the Marvel Entertainment not too long ago. A couple days ago, they did this little like exclusive highlight reel kind of thing. And just kind of the way he put it, I'm like, I like that, because it's kind of something everybody wants. Like, we want to see these characters, these heroes, kind of reflective of real people in the real world. But that don't mean that it's just, you know, as easy as handing off a symbol like the shield or the mantle of Captain America. There's really a lot to do with that. And I think a lot of that came through with the speech that Sam gave in episode 1. And then how they kind of feels, I really kind of felt like the speech that the congressman or whatever who handed the shield and introduced Captain America, John Walker, in episode 1, kind of, his speech was kind of a backhanded response to what Sam had said in episode 1 at the very beginning in his speech. And I think they're doing so much of that in this episode so greatly. Now, writing aside, I think they're towing that line pretty good, kind of putting that perspective out there. A lot of different perspectives and interjecting it into this superhero world, and I think it plays really good so far with what Malcom Spellman is doing. Again, the director doing a great job kind of bringing us into episode 2, introducing us to John Walker and giving him some of his giving us just a little bit of his backstory, kind of giving us that real feeling of like, man, like maybe I actually do kind of care for this guy that's married to, what was that, AOC? Wasn't that AOC playing his wife? I thought it was really good, showing some of that, kind of showing his human side and why you kind of may want to take a look at this guy and, you know, maybe sympathize with him a little bit as he's sitting there going through his old the old locker room where he was where he's obviously a football champ, and sitting there having that discussion with his wife. You know, a good character moment. And then you even get another great character moment when his partner Lamar Hoskins walks in as well and starts talking to him as well, kind of brings him in, kind of his wingman, if I dare say. And I thought it was some really great stuff, some really great character moments before we're thrust, right? Before we're thrust into the Good Morning America scene there, where they're introducing him and kind of giving some of his backstory and stuff like that. They kind of got a little bit on the cheesy side of things. Very good stuff there. And then what happens, you know, we kind of get a little bit more drama here with our main characters you know, as they're getting ready, Sam and Bucky getting ready to go on this mission, tracking down the Flag Smashers. We get some more action, you know, just kind of, you know, just some really cool things as they're tracking down these Flag Smashers. And again, lots of great action here. Not all kinds of high flying stuff, but there was some of it interjected in there, and it was done in such a really great way that I thought too. Now, some of the CG here, I wouldn't say like it was good. I'll admit that it was really good, but there is still some of it that doesn't still feel quite MCU film quality to me. But the quality, I think a lot of it is done very good. You can tell it's a TV show. I would say it's definitely higher, a higher quality than your average TV show as well. But altogether, some of that stuff was really good, and then sprinkling in the other things where there's just maybe a little bit more than meets the eye here, as we get a little bit more introduction to our bad guys in the way of the Flag Smashers. And then not only that, and it's very interesting about the Flag Smashers, and we'll get into some of that too. And then we get introduced to the other organization here, the Power Broker, who has his henchmen and everything out there, who is actually out there working not necessarily with the Flag Smashers, actually kind of working against them. Again, a good balance of drama, of character moments, drama, and action throughout this series. So far in 2 episodes, I think they have done a really great job with this. Now, like I said, there is some of that CG that happened in here that I'm kind of like, I don't know. It's they could. I feel they could have done a better job. Now, the other thing that I thought too was with some of that, we're kind of dealing with this TV landscape, if you will, in the sense that this is a TV show, not a full-fledged movie, a blockbuster here. I would say it's a blockbuster TV show, if anything. One of the things where we seen the Flag Smashers towards the end, they were trying to make an escape. There, we see that one of the people there. We see how dedicated some of the people are to this cause, and we see one of the people there kind of sacrifice himself for this cause. And I thought it was really great because I thought it was it seemed like a good moment, but kind of cheesy. And I think they've done that for a reason, because you sit there and you kind of think like, oh man, you kind of feel for the guy, like, dang man, like this, like. You almost feel bad for these people. Like, dang, like they're really dedicated and down for what they're wanting to do. They probably feel like they're doing something good here. We can see they're being chased down by the Power Broker, and this guy goes, and you're like, dang, man, like this dude's like, these people are really into this. It kind of gives you that little drama, but then it gives you kind of a little bit of cheesiness at the same time. That kind of feel where it doesn't feel deep and emotional. It just gives you that little bit like, dang, like okay, like you almost feel sympathetic towards them, but then it's still done in a way where it's still kind of cheesy, and it's like, yeah, I don't really. This guy's probably getting what he deserves, right? This guy's probably getting what he deserves. Altogether, really great stuff. There was some scenes in here where we see that Sam and Bucky finally get together with John Walker and Battlestar Lamar Hoskins. I thought these were some very good scenes. And I think altogether, the writing with the show is very good, and seeing how everything's kind of playing out. I know everybody, especially last week, was talking about that bank scene and what sense does it make, and you get a little bit more of that in this series, in this episode, in the sense that you see that Sam Wilson, he's not part of the government. He's not working with the government. He's working in conjunction with the army and some of those things and doing missions, but he's not doesn't have ties to them. He's a free agent, right? Funny how he keeps calling him a free agent, and then he keeps getting mistake for, a football player, or, right? Or this time, in another little town, he doesn't get recognized at all. Bucky has to tell him, and then Bucky gets arrested. Very good stuff. Like I said, there's a lot of great character moments, and the thing that with that whole government thing, you see them being free agents. You see that, that Sam and Bucky know that the government, they have an agenda and things that they want to do, and they know that they can't play by those rules. Even Sam talked about, you guys have rules of engagement that we don't have to follow, and we can't, they were talking about the working together, and you can see that they're all reluctant to want to work together here in the first place. But one thing I do like is how we see that kind of parallel where John Walker has his wingman, if you will, in Battlestar, and how you see that you've got Sam and Bucky here, who were essentially both the wingman of Captain America, and now they are both kind of partners in this together. And I wouldn't say that one's the sidekick of the other. They are both kind of equals in this sense. And it's very cool seeing a lot of those kinds of things, and just the dynamic there in between, kind of them trusting the government and not wanting to. And I kind of think that's something that a lot of people maybe, I don't know, when it gets into those kinds of things, talking about those political things, there's a lot of stuff there that people don't like talking about or uncomfortable talking about or things like that. And I think ultimately some of this stuff that they're kind of reflecting in the show is kind of showing some of that, where like John Walker has certain laws, things like that they're willing to do, and Sam Wilson is like, hey, like we don't have to play by those rules, but also I'm not exactly a yes man where I'm just going to do anything that the government tells me, where John Walker absolutely is. And like I said, there's just so much great stuff here, great moments here building up in episode 2. Like I said, this is basically the first act over, and I think they've done a very good job here in these episodes, walking us through, introducing us these characters and everything going on there. We got that really great dramatic scene there when they went and met Elijah Bradley, or Isaiah Bradley, and I guess we did meet Elijah too, Eli Bradley as well. But I thought they did really good with those scenes, kind of getting in there and revealing, exposing some of that history there. A lot of great moments and things kind of being, again, a lot of these storylines kind of coming together and giving us that MCU mystery meat. Man, I kind of feel like I went into spoilers without telling you I was going into spoilers. I think I probably did that. Did I really give any spoilers? I don't know. Was there, like, I don't know. Is there really spoilers that can be given for this? I mean, I think we knew a lot of these things were going to happen. We knew that we're going to be introduced. We got introduced to John Walker. Man, I did say it was going to be spoiler at the beginning anyway. Shit, it doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter. Anyway, I thought it was a very good episode. Again, the drama, the action, the kind of looking at some of these things going on in our world, kind of in, I like the way they're showing different perspectives to everything, because even there was a line there towards the end when Sam was talking to Bucky and they're walking, and he goes, and Bucky says to Sam, he's like, yeah, but we were sitting there talking to Isaiah, and he said my people. And Sam says to him, hey man, don't take that too personally. I don't think he meant your people. I think he just meant, and and Bucky's like, no, like he meant like my people, like Hydra, the people who were controlling me, stuff like that. And I'm just like, dude, I was sitting there laughing. I'm like, because that's the funny thing, because even Bucky's like, man, like, I can't, he's talking about my people. Like Sam thought that he was down on the fact, like he thought like Isaiah, he thought Bucky was thinking like Isaiah was sitting there thinking like, oh, damn white people. Again, for me, it's very reflective of all these kinds of things. Walking that balance and walking that line of all of this stuff going on out there. Again, director, Carrie Skoglund doing a great job. Malcom Spellman doing a good job writing this series. I would say all the actors in this series doing a very good job as well. Because even the guy who was playing Battlestar, their John Walker's partner, I thought he did a very good job. I mean, you can see that these people all have these kind of working relationships together, and it's cool to see a lot of that. It's cool to see a lot of those things kind of happening here in the series as we're being introduced. Like I said, first act is over. We're introduced to all of our bad guys at this point, right? Do you guys feel like there's another bad guy that we're going to get introduced here? I mean, you think, we're going to go see Baron Zemo. We've already been basically teased and introduced to the Power Broker. We know the Flag Smashers. So it's very interesting stuff there, but let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, getting into some of the comic stuff here, I think is very interesting as well. Like I said, we can see they're kind of pulling from different things, giving us that MCU mystery meat. One of the things I was talking about, which we got in episode 1, and we're getting a little bit more here, was where Sam Wilson, his funding, he's not necessarily working for the government. He's on contracts and stuff. So he don't have money and funding for those kinds of things. That's some stuff that was parallel to the comics. Now, also in the comics, I thought it was very interesting. We've got the Flag Smashers here, and they're working against the Power Broker, but they're still working against the other thing. Now, in the comic books, in the Sam Wilson Captain America series, he was actually setting there at one point. He goes to the border, Sam Wilson does, as he's Captain America, to fight the Sons of the Serpent, who are part of the Serpent Society, obviously. But they were there trying to, at the border, the Sons of the Serpent, they were there trying to stop some at the border of Mexico, trying to keep Mexicans from crossing the border and coming into America and stuff like that. And we can see what actually ended up happening was the guy who is this leader of the Sons of the Serpent was actually there working in conjunction with this guy, the Coyote, if you will, who was helping these people out get across the border. And what they were doing is they were taking these people, some of the men and everything, from these people and taking them back to the power broker to run experiments on them. The power broker was running experiments on them with a doctor by the name of Malik. I want to say that I want to say that was his name. But he's sitting there who is he was the geneticist who was sitting there doing the experiments on him. Where's his name at? I know his name is here somewhere. Let's see. Oh, Malice. Carl Malice. Now Carl Malice was actually had a symbiote in him, but what Carl Malice was doing was Carl Malice was experimenting on people and things like that for the power broker. So I thought it was very interesting where in here we had the Sons of the Serpent who were kind of trying to keep closed borders and things like that, right? They were the bad guys here in this Sam Wilson. And also there was another villain called Green Skull as well, who was an environmentalist, right? Who he was fighting against. Well, here we see, instead of that necessarily, what we see here is we've got Sam working against the Flag Smashers, who are wanting open borders everywhere. So it's almost the exact opposite. Where Sam's like, well, you know, we're kind of trying to keep that order, if you will, of that. And we see him talking about one people and stuff like that. And in the last episode, we got New World Order. Just some of those very cool parallels to the comics going on here as well. Now, also in the comic book, it was the power broker and this Dr. Carl Malice who actually experimented on Joaquin Torres and made him a hybrid human Falcon. He ended up becoming Falcon's sidekick, Sam Wilson's sidekick, and he ended up having wings and all the stuff he had. Like, it was pretty crazy. A little bit wacky for what we're going to get in this series, where here we see Joaquin Torres is actually working with the military. He's actually in the army. So it makes me think something may happen to this character here a little bit down the road, as far as maybe getting caught up in this whole game and getting caught and maybe experimented on himself as well. Altogether, though, there are a lot of parallels coming out of these comic books, and I do think that they're doing a very good job kind of interjecting a lot of these different things into the show for our entertainment purposes, especially, and again, in this episode with all the John Walker stuff, just really, really great stuff. But I don't know, guys, that's all my thoughts on the episode. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll get here into the live chats and see what is up with everybody. I see you all being very active in there as well. So starting off, we got Red Raven 96, we got my man Lord Veedo, Reefer Man Reviews, we got let's see who else we got here. We got XR Coon. We've also got my man Mike Porter. We've got Ivan Rodriguez, Sylvester M. My brother, what is up? How are you doing, man? I hope you're all having a very good day today. Now, I know the one thing that you guys have definitely all done is you've all hit that like button and you've shared it and you've invited your friends and told them to get over here. I know you've already done it. But in case you didn't, make sure you do all that stuff. Tell people to come hang out. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Lord Veedo says, well, hello there. Hi, friends. Yeah. Lord Veedo says 7 out of 10 for me. I thought it was just all right. All right. Yeah, fair enough. Major improvement over first episode, says Reefer Man. All right, you thought it was better? I think it was good. I think for me, I think it was kind of right up there. I think it was just maybe just a little bit better because we got some more of those character and dramatic moments. There was some of that cheesy stuff, like the stuff with the counselor. Okay, I could probably do without some of that stuff, but I mean, it's kind of getting some of the stuff out there that we need out there. But other than that, I don't know. Yeah, I think we'd probably do without that stuff, but hey, it works. To be fair, it's Captain America related stuff. So politics is most likely a thing anyways. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, the Good Morning America thing was funny because that's a real show on ABC in the morning. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was kind of it's like cheesy too. They made sure it was all kind of cheesy. Um, yeah, yeah, on yeah, of episode 1 of what's it called? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Invincible. Yeah, yeah. I watched. I think I watched. I don't know if I got through all of episode 1, but I was watching a little bit of that yesterday. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Watched Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 2 twice. Saw episode 1 of Mighty Ducks. Took a nap. Saw episode 1 of 3 of Invincible, and then you were streaming. Nice, nice. You busy man this morning. Yeah, definitely. Um, so I have to watch 2 episodes. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You guys join my watch party on my Discord. I mean, maybe it depends on when it is. I'm a busy person, man. I got business and stuff. I got kids. I'm a busy man. I'm a busy man. It is 8 p.m. for us. What? 8 p.m. for us. It's a Mighty Duck show. It's an hour, but it felt like a half of an hour. Nice. I only read Invincible Ultimate Collection Edition issues 1 through 13. You think the show goes past those issues? Yeah, I'm sure it does. I'm sure they're. I mean, probably not episode 1 through 3, but I'm sure. I'm sure to be going. I'm sure to be going through all that stuff. I'm sure to be going through all that stuff. As far as I know, As far as I know, they're following the comic book pretty accurately. As far as I know. Mighty Ducks episode 1 was good. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I seen that was up too. I like how Disney is taking these IPs though and making shows from them and doing new stuff too, like the Mysterious Benedict Society and Big Shot is new. Yeah, as I say, I haven't seen those. Turner and Hooch remake into a show. Yeah, that's kind of sad. I remember that movie. Saw that movie at the movie theater when it came out. Red Raven 96 says Trinity was a U.S. agent ever a bad guy in the comics. The thing is, like, he's not necessarily a bad guy, but I mean, you gotta think that, like, he's a government stooge. He works for the government, man. Like, do I really need to get into that? Like, I think that's pretty self-explanatory in itself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. But also, I mean, it really comes down to, and that's kind of one of the things I think that they might kind of look at here too. Is the one thing you got to look at is what's your definition of bad? What is a bad guy? What constitutes a bad guy, really? Yeah. He's an Avengers member, but I don't know. I don't know about as a bad guy. Yeah, as I'm saying that, and that's kind of the thing. Again, it's kind of walking that line of exactly what is bad. Bad people do good things. Good people do bad things. That's kind of how I look at a lot of this stuff. I'm watching Falcon and Winter Soldier right now. No, you're not. You're watching Second Street Marvel. They did do some race swapping in Invincible though. Oh, dang it. Figures. Let me just say Invincible cast is stacked. Yeah, 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 yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, the whole Invincible thing was surprising. It's animation, but violence and language. Yeah, the actors are voicing are great, and yes, the twist. Yeah, I was gonna say the one thing I really do like is what's his name? J.K. Simmons, dude. I love J.K. Simmons. That dude's great. Ever since I seen that dude on Oz, that TV show that was on HBO back in the day, dude, I love J.K. Simmons. He played Schillinger. He was the leader of like the Nazi group, the skinheads inside of this prison. Dude, I'm telling you, J.K. Simmons is great, and I seen him in there. It was really good. Really good stuff. They only race swapped Darkwing and the mom. Okay, all right. Yeah, figures. The Guardians of the Globe were all voiced by Walking Dead actors. Yeah. Yep. It was Jeffrey D. Morgan. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, anyway, guys. Yeah. See, look, you guys are all over here. Look, you guys are all over here talking about Invincible. We're talking about Falcon Winter Soldier, guys. Reel it in. Reel it in. This isn't the Invincible show. Next person who mentions Invincible, I'm just trying to let it be known, right? They say that they look, boom. Sorry. Sometimes we must make hard decisions in life. I just said the next person. I didn't say everybody. I just pulled an Adam. I just pulled an Adam. That's what I did. I just pulled an Adam from Fanjecture. But anyway, now again, I thought this episode was really good, and again, they are towing the line of so many different things here. Again, interjecting some of those race issues, some of that kind of stuff, some of these things going on in our society. Very good stuff. But no, I haven't watched Invincible yet. I did get through about part 1. Through, I don't know, about part of the first episode. We're gonna watch that stuff, and we'll probably end up doing some. May end up joining XR Coon's his watch parties if he's doing stuff like that. If he's gonna be doing some of that stuff. So make sure you know, if you guys like doing that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't really know. I don't really do watch parties and all that stuff. I mean, I just get home and I watch the stuff. I know you're Kermit drinking that tea, like. But why can't I be Grogu? Why can't I be Grogu? I want to be Grogu. Anyway, guys, yeah, that's really all I've got for this episode. Again, very good stuff. Again, they are doing a lot of stuff here from the comics. Again, like I said, they're giving us that MCU mystery meat, doing a good job of it. Make sure, if you guys aren't here, make sure that you subscribe and all that stuff. We're going to tonight. We've got the Trailer Park Live coming at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Also, also, we will be doing a community stream next week. We'll do that next week, probably on Thursday, afternoon, doing some of that stuff. You know, guys, and I'm not sure if you guys were here. I did a little stream last night. I made it for members only and everything later, but I had this interview yesterday, guys, with Aftershock Comics to become an ambassador. And I get to go into comic book shops and, you know, like talk to them about Aftershock Comics. I get to be like one of those people who goes around. Goes around and knocks on your door and says, "Have you read the words of Aftershock Comics? Have you been saved?" To comic shops, which is probably cool, you know. I don't know. I think it sounds like a good time. Hey, we'll see if we get the I don't know. Is it necessarily a job? It's I mean, I don't know. It's an ambassador kind of thing. It sounds cool. But anyway, guys, that's all I've got for today's stream. Thank you all so much for being here today. Again, make sure you're subscribed and all that stuff, and make sure you're here tonight for the Trailer Park Live, where we'll talk about some more stuff. But anyway, you all have a good day, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.